What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Villager Lab, where today we're going to be working on a new dog villager. I want to start off by taking a look at the group of all of the different dog villagers that are currently in the game. One thing that I notice is that they're all very cute looking. There's nothing that stands out as like really bad. I think there are a lot of really good ones with the species. Overall, the dogs are just a good species, but I am noticing that a lot of them are based off of the breed that they are. So like, a golden retriever, a beagle, things like that. And then there are a couple here and there that are a little bit different, Cherry, Lucky, they seem to be themed around something. So my idea is to combine that a little bit. So what my plan is to make a boxer themed dog, both in the species and in the sport. As I say that, you may be saying to yourself, hey, there is already a boxing themed villager with Rooney, and I like Rooney as a villager, but I don't think the boxing angle works really well with his character design. I do understand what they were going for with the whole like boxing kangaroo thing, but I think a lot of the issue comes down to his gloves, or the fact that that is supposed to be gloves. Obviously, gloves are very important to a boxer. That's like the main thing that you would think of whenever you're thinking of a boxer. I'm not going to put that on my villager because if I tried to do boxing gloves like Rooney or just boxing gloves in general, we'd run into the same issue. The hand shape is not correct. It would work for something like a gorilla, but the shapes of hands like this, it just wouldn't work. So I have a different approach that I'm going to take. Instead of boxing gloves, I think what I'm going to do is put him in boxing wraps, which if you don't know, you wrap your hands in like white tape usually before you put on boxing gloves. It's supposed to, I think, help with like supporting your knuckles and your wrists and everything like that. But I think that that is going to fit the hand shape a little bit better than the boxing glove would because it wouldn't be such a large bulbous thing. It is supposed to kind of form factor to your hand. I'm definitely taking a lot of inspiration from Lucky here with that because he is, of course, wrapped up in whatever he's supposed to be wrapped up in. But I'm just going to take that idea and apply it mainly to the hands and have that look like, it might look like gauze a little bit, but I think if I don't go all the way to the tip and just have it on the arms, you'll probably be able to tell that it'll be boxing wraps. I guess we'll just have to see. I'm just kind of trying to see how this will look. All I did was lay down a white color. I'm definitely going to have to add on the normal map to have like shadows and things like that. I'll have to mess with this a little bit more. I'm not sure if it'll look goofy or if it won't look like wraps or what. So I'll have to refine this a lot more and make it happen from there. Something that I'm actually thinking might help is like in Lucky's textures, it's just pure white and then the normal maps are what's making it look like bandages. I think that's not really going to work for this because it's such a small area. So I think that I need to darken up the areas where the bandages would be overlapping, make it look like shadows or even make it look like it's a little bit like worn in or something like that. And I think that that is going to allow for a little bit more separation and your eyes can tell that a little bit different just because it is such a small area. Okay, you can see it right here, and that's looking a lot better for sure than just the pure white. I do think that the combination of the normal map plus that gray color is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I don't know how much it'll look like wraps. Like right now, I don't know if you'd be able to tell that that's wraps or what, just because that's Biscuit, so it might look like he's broken his arms, but I think that this is going to work. I also want to see how this will look in the actual game because it can look a little bit different here in this software as opposed to the game. So I'm going to pull that in and check it out. Okay, so that's what I was a little bit worried about is in-game, things lighten up a lot more and there's not quite as much contrast, so it's harder to see those gray areas. I think you can still tell that it's supposed to be wraps or, wrapped tape around, but I might have to darken up those areas just a little bit. But as a baseline, I like this. The next area I want to go ahead and work on is the body, and with that, I think I'm going to keep it a pretty simple brown color because like I said, I want to have a good balance between Boxer the sport and Boxer the breed of dog. So I'm going to keep it brown, keep it pretty simple, and just let the other areas do the heavy lifting in terms of like unique stuff. I will have to figure something out with that, I guess, but for now, I'm just going to keep it a pretty basic brown. Yep, that's brown. I added some highlights to like the ears and the legs and things like that because that's what a lot of villagers will do. Even if they do have one main color, there will be like a highlight or gradient from one area to the other in the ears or the legs or something like that. But now I need to do something a little bit more interesting with it. I guess the face can be interesting, but I'm focused on the body right now. Right now, I'm trying to think in terms of what I want this villager to be, or kind of what's his story. He's obviously not wearing boxing gloves, so to me, that story kind of led me to, okay, well, why is he not wearing boxing gloves? And for that, what I kind of had in mind was that he just got done with a fight. Like if you look at Rooney, he looks like he is training for a fight and he's getting ready. So with this villager not wearing gloves and just wearing the wraps, what I'm thinking is he just got done with a fight, he just won a fight, and we can have that come through like in his personality and things like that. He can look very smug like he just won, and there is another idea that has to do with that a little bit later on that I'll get to with the eyes, but I think that's sort of the route that I want to take. And with that on the body, I was thinking that maybe I could have him wear a hoodie because that would be really interesting. There are no villagers that really do that. So basically paint onto his head what looks like a hoodie, have it blend into a shirt, similar to like how the superhero villagers have that. This is kind of what I mean with that. So you can see here on Agent S, she's got on that shirt, that blue shirt, but underneath it's long sleeve, and that is actually painted directly onto the villager. So I want to do something similar by having a shirt that you can wear in game, but then also have that blend into the hoodie on top. So essentially all that I'm doing is copying the material from this tank top shirt that is an actual item in the game, and then putting it around the face and the mouth and on the body texture so that it looks like it would be a hood that the character is wearing. I don't know how this will look. I think I'll have to mess with the normal maps a little bit to make it look like it's not sitting on the head or is part of the head, but I think this could work. Oh, okay. It doesn't really look much like a hoodie, I don't think. It looks almost like a ski mask or something like that, where you've got like your face out of it, like a shiesty, I think is what they call it. I don't know if it's just it needs to be refined or if like the shape of the dog's face doesn't really work. Maybe if I bring it in a little bit more and have it covering up more of the face, it might work a little bit better. It definitely is not working like this, but I think with refinement, it probably can work. But yeah, first try is not very good. I did notice that on the shirt, like the in-game shirt that I'm basing this off of, there's a lot of black accents around the like armholes and neck hole and things like that. So I'm going to put that around the hooded part so that hopefully that can have a little bit of separation from the actual face. I think that's where a lot of the issue is coming in, is that it looks like this is just, I don't know, almost like hair or something like that. And it doesn't look like it's a separate clothing item that the character is wearing, because I mean technically it's not. The hoodie wasn't really part of like the initial ideas that I had. It more so came from the idea I was thinking sort of like Little Mac in Smash Brothers. I mean really any like boxer, you see him wearing like sleeveless hoodies and things like that. So that was the idea that I had with the hood up. I don't know if that will work. And if it doesn't, I guess I'll just have to scrap it or something like that. I don't want to, because I think that there is probably a way to make it look right, but I'm just worried that I'm not going to be able to make it look right. But also, I think some of that issue could be coming from the fact that I don't have normal maps, which I guess to explain if you don't know, a normal map is the thing that creates lights and shadows on a villager. So that would be something that would allow for a little bit more separation. Right now, it looks very clearly painted on because it is literally just painted on. But if I add a normal map, I think that that might allow for a little bit more separation and make it look like it is a hood. So I'm going to work on that, see if that helps out any, and see if we can go from there. Okay, I got it pulled in here. So you can see without the normal maps on, it looks pretty straight up painted on. It looks fine, but whenever we turn the normal map on, you can see that there is a little bit more separation. There's light that is affecting it in a different way, and it doesn't look like it's part of the head quite as much. I think in game that'll probably help a lot. I don't know how much, but I think it'll at least look better than it did before. I don't know, it's definitely better than before, but it still doesn't look exactly right. I know that it is not lining up right where the eyes meet the mouth, but I'm not worried about that right now. I don't know. I don't know what the issue is, because I thought that normal map would really fix the problem, and I don't know if it's not strong enough right now or something like that. My worry is that I'm going to put too much time and effort into this, and it's something that is just straight up not able to be done, and then I've just wasted my time. That's kind of the issue with designing things, is like how much time do I want to spend making this and refining this for something that might not work. I think I'm going to continue working with this. I might try to refine it a little bit more, and then if I want to remove it later on down the line after I've done the face, then I can do it like that. Because I think some of the issue is that it doesn't have a face, so that might be making it look weird. I really don't know. All right, I've been working for a while, just refining, going back and forth with all of this, and I think this is as good as I'm going to have it, at least for now. It's still not perfect, but I do think that it looks more like a hood than it did before. I think I'm gonna continue on with my idea of like just keep this on there for now, add a face, see how it looks with the face, and then go from there. Take it off if I need to. I don't. It looks okay right now, and I really do want to keep the hoodie idea because I feel like it's really unique. But I also don't want the villager to look bad, if that makes sense. I would rather have a good-looking villager than a unique-looking villager that's ugly. For the face, I have an idea for the eye, and what I want to do is have give him a black eye. So basically, whenever boxers obviously get hit, they'll get black eyes. But whenever you think of a dog, like a cliche thing, especially for Dalmatians, is that they're white and then they have just like a black spot around their eye. So I think that I can do something similar with that, give him like a black circle around his eye so that I can act as both a black eye he got from boxing, but also maybe it's just like a mark on his coloring that a dog would have. I think that's a fun kind of double thing that works for both types of boxers that we're going for. I guess I also need to figure out what I want to do with the eyes. Initially, I was just going to do like big circular eyes, but with adding on this hoodie, I don't think there's going to be enough room for that. I don't want to cover the eyes up that much, maybe like a tiny bit just so it looks even more like the hoodie is on top of everything. I'm not sure. I might have to look through villagers and see if I can get some inspiration somewhere else for a shape that might fit this a little bit better. All right, I was looking through the list and my eye was drawn to Aziz because I think his eyes fit that little story or that theme that I was talking about before where he looks very smug, he looks very confident, like he just won a fight. And I think that has to do with like the eyes being partially shut and even maybe him looking off to the side. I don't know, but he looks very like proud of himself and almost cocky. So I might just kind of copy this straight up, see how it looks, at the very least to get a face on there to see how we're feeling about the hoodie. But I do like that eye shape. Dog villagers can be tough because their faces like stretch a lot with the texture, so everything is a little bit squished and you have to really adjust how you draw things. Like this is not how it's going to end up looking whenever it's actually on the character model. It's a little tough to get used to. Okay, I don't hate that. He looks a little bit more like annoyed than cocky, but I think that's because he doesn't have a smile. I feel like this whole video is just me saying, oh, this isn't working, but I think it's because we don't have this yet. And then I feel like I'm going to get to the end and nothing is going to work. And I'm like, well, there's nothing else we can add on. But I want to see how this looks in the game, especially with like the normal map textures and the hoodie and everything like that. And I guess we can go from there. If the hoodie still doesn't work, we might just have to scrap it. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think that the hoodie is very good. Maybe it's the eyes. I really don't know. Maybe I can try the circle eyes and see how that looks. And I can also, because I think the circular eyes will be easier to do that black eye thing that I was talking about. It's hard to make a circular thing around an eye that's shaped like this. So I'll try the hoodie with the circular eyes. If that doesn't work, I'm getting rid of it. Yeah, I think I think we're getting rid of the hoodie. It's just not working, which is a shame because I really do like the idea of the hoodie. I don't know how much of that is that it just would never look good on there and how much of that is just I don't have the skills to make it look right. I would love for somebody who's better at this to try to do something like this. But as it stands with my skill set and what I'm doing, I don't think that I can continue moving forward with the hoodie. So I'm going to remove that. I might keep the circular eyes. I guess I'll see once I remove the hoodie what will look better, but we'll see. As I was looking through like reference photos for boxers and cartoon versions of boxers and things like that, I noticed that a lot of them had bandages on their nose. And I think I want to do that because that is also going to play into the whole like he just got into the fight. He's already been in the fight and he's been hurt. He's got some kind of injury. I think that's as far as we can go without like making him a bloodied mess, which obviously would not work right. So I think I'll do a bandage on the nose, maybe a bandage in a different spot. I'm not sure, but for sure a bandage on the nose. I know that Kurt has like a bandage on his head, so I'm pretty much just going to copy that and add it over the nose and I think over the eyebrow as well. I don't want to go too overboard with the bandages, but I think 2 of them would be nice. While I'm doing that, I'm working on the mouth and I've adopted a pretty similar shape as the other dog villagers with this mouth, but I don't think that it really screams boxer to me. Boxers as a breed have a very distinct mouth shape. That's like one of the things that they're known for is their very, very droopy mouths. So it's going to be hard to do something like that. I'm going to do it kind of similar to Mac, because I think he's got a pretty similar shape, or it looks more like a boxer than any of the other ones. So I'm going to do something kind of similar to that. Yeah, something like this where you can see like the mouth flaps go past where the mouth opening is. I think that'll be a good cartoonish way to depict that, as opposed to having, I don't know, like making a 3D model of loose skin. That would obviously not work. So here's where we're at with that. I did a little bit more refinement. I added some color to like where the mouth meets the nose, which I think works well. It makes it look like a boxer, but it also kind of looks like he has a mustache, which I like, almost like a 70s like Apollo Creed type mustache, which is cool. I think that'll be really nice. I'm going to keep rocking with it. We'll probably put it in the game and see how it looks, but if I like it like this, we might go ahead and keep moving forward with this and just, refine everything, make it look right. Okay, yeah, I like this. I want to darken up the area that I was just talking about with the nose and the mouth, have that be a little bit darker. And then also, I think I want to make the ears a completely different color. Before, whenever he was wearing the hoodie, it wasn't a big deal because there was a degree of separation there. But now that it's attached to the head, he just looks like he's one color way too much throughout. But I think this is a solid base to stand on. I'm going to make those refinements and then we should be good. Okay, I know I just said that I think that we're good, but I was looking at it more and I'm not sure how much it looks like a boxer, like the fighter. And I don't know if that's just from me working on this for too long or what, but I think one thing that I would like to try is giving him boxing trunks. So like the shorts that you wear, just see what that looks like. If it looks good, cool. If not, I'll scrap it. But I just want to try it and see. No, not really. That's fine. I just wanted to test it and see, maybe with a little bit more refinement, like I said, but I think he should be fine how he is. I don't know. I don't think that we need to go so hard into the boxing thing. I think you can still tell. Okay, this is the last change, I swear, but I had my girlfriend look at it and she said that I should try to change the eyebrows to something that looks a little bit more like a boxer's eyebrows, like the breed. So I went with these little more circular, kind of rounded and smaller eyebrows, which I do think work a lot better. I think that also adds, he looks older, I don't know, almost like a Cranky type villager, how they look older, but he's also still kind of smug and things like that. So I think that this eyebrow shape works. I'm going to keep refining like this and stop making changes. Let's get on to the name and the phrase. I'm going to start with the phrase because I already had that in mind. This was like one of the first things that I thought of. And my idea for the phrase, or what the phrase is going to be, is southpaw, which if you don't know, when you fight in boxing, southpaw, it means that you're fighting with your left hand as your dominant hand. And then, of course, paw is something that a dog has. I think that works really well as, the hybrid thing that we've been going for throughout. So I'm super happy with that. As for the name, I do not know yet. Initially, I didn't think that Rooney had a very good name, but after reading what it is supposed to be, so Kevin Rooney is the trainer for Mike Tyson, and Roo is like kangaroo, so Rooney. That is actually a pretty good name. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with anything super good for it. I don't want to go, I don't want to just name this villager Ali or something like that, like Muhammad Ali. It's just too on the nose. I want to have something a little bit more subtle. All right, I'm looking at this list of like the top 10 most famous boxers just to get some ideas. First off, coming across Muhammad Ali, his birth name is Cassius Clay Jr. So I think Cassius might be kind of cool. It definitely has that like kind of arrogant feel to it, or I don't know, the name sounds very like royal or something like that. And I think that would fit the personality really well, but also I'm not too sure about it. It doesn't have anything to do with dogs, but I guess it doesn't necessarily have to. Scrolling down, Sugar Ray Robinson. Actually, Sugar might be kind of cute, and that's something kind of subtle, right? Like Sugar Ray, it's not, Sugar can just be a name. It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, this is a boxer's name. I'm trying to decide between Sugar and Cassius, and I think Sugar probably works better for just the general aesthetic and everything of Animal Crossing. So I think Sugar is probably what I'll go ahead and go with. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and finish everything up, and let's see how it looks.
Knockout!
So that is Sugar, our new dog villager. It turned out interesting. I think this episode in general was kind of interesting because I tried a lot of things and a lot of things did not work. This villager did not really turn out how I anticipated it to turn out, and I don't even mean that necessarily in a bad way, but it's just not really what I thought it would end up looking like with the initial idea of a boxer/boxer whenever I first thought about it. That being said, I am pretty happy with how he turned out. I like the fact that I didn't just go with, okay, this guy is a boxer just like Rooney, they're gonna fight, all that stuff. He has a little bit of a different story and a different way of looking, which I think is cool. I also love the phrase. I like the bandages, those are cute, and I like the little mustache looking area on the face. It's not the craziest looking villager. I could see people being or not really liking this one quite as much just because there isn't a ton of crazy stuff going on. Like there's not anything crazy on the horns, or he doesn't look like a 20s villager, but I think he could probably fit in and slide in with the other dog villagers pretty easily. And I think really that's the goal of Villager Lab, is making a villager that seems like they would be able to fit in with other villagers. And in that, I do feel like he works for that. As always, I appreciate you watching. If you draw Sugar beating up your least favorite villager, feel free to send that to me over on any of the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Get it to me because I would love to see this guy beating up Rodney. Whoever draws Sugar beating up Rodney, please send that to me. But yeah, I appreciate you checking it out. Stay tuned for the next Villager Lab whenever that comes out, and I will see you in the next one.